It's time for the Movin The Chains podcast. Your home for high school football coverage in the Palmetto State. Every team, every game, every week. And now your hosts, Kevin Thomas and Jarrell Hendricks.
Welcome in to Movin The Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jarrell Hendricks. Got a great interview tonight, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Union County Yellow Jackets, Quinnon Isom. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing well, and appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains, our website, movinchains.com, our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Isom was hired in February. He's been on staff at Crest in North Carolina for the past 2 seasons. Prior to that, he coached at Wren, J.L. Mann, Easley, Seneca, Greenville, and Gardner-Webb University. Coach, let's start there. How's that transition been, not only going from assistant coach to head man now, but also going from North Carolina down into Palmetto State here?
Transition been more of a whirlwind, to say the least, with it being my official first time as a head football coach, and now in the process of going from North Carolina to South Carolina on a either day-by-day basis, really a day-to-day basis now. So since me and my family officially moved to Union County, I make it my mission to get into the community, kind of see what's going on while I'm here, to be involved with the school. Like currently right now on our spring break, instead of me kind of relaxing as most people would do, I'm heavily involved in my high school as we speak. So I ain't been too long got in from the night, but it's a lot of good things going on. But it's a blessing, to say the least. These young people that I'm involved with, the coaching staff we got built, that we're building continuously. It's everybody and anybody that want to be a part of Union County. It's something special here. There may not be the big red oak trees like there used to be of the athletes, but there's some roots here, and we're gonna do everything we can to nourish and build those roots up and grow to make some more champions out of these people that we have here now at Union County. But it's been a blessing. I really can't say nothing about it. If I could, I'd be lying, but it's a blessing to be in Union County.
That's awesome, Coach. Kevin talked about it briefly, your background in the introduction there. But if you don't mind, just tell us how you got to this point. We talked to you a little bit off air about, you playing in college, working as a grad assistant. But if you don't mind detailing your career up until this point.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Toccoa, Georgia, small town in the corner of Northeast Georgia, from Stevens County High School. From that point, I became a athlete at Gardner-Webb University, started on both offensive line, defensive line. Then I had the opportunity to stay there after my career was done playing, to be a graduate assistant, a student assistant there, working on various positions and on both sides of the ball. Then from that point, I had the opportunity to come back to South Carolina and be a middle school 9th grade defensive coordinator. You're talking about somebody that had no clue what a cover 3, cover 2 was. Really kind of just understanding what the I guess the inner city youth. That was my first deal, kind of dealing with that. And I went from that point. We was very successful with a group of young kids who was, hungry and thriving, wanted some kind of success. Had good years there, went undefeated then. And then the following year, the second year, I was still working with the offensive line, defensive line on varsity for Greenville High School. But at that time, I was still the 9th grade defensive coordinator. Had an opportunity to go to Seneca High School with Gene Cathcart and be the outside backers coach and JV defensive coordinator. Had a good, successful year then. We went and won I don't think we won the region. I think we came in second. We lost to BHP, and then we lost to Wren, but we beat Dane. I think it caused a two-way tie, I believe, but we ended up getting second. But then the following year, had another opportunity to advance my career, to go to Easler High School, be the assistant head football coach and the defense coordinator under John Wyndham. I was also the assistant 9th grade basketball coach and the head track coach. So I was kind of moving around then for that time. Was there for about 3 years. After that, had an opportunity to go back to Greenville County to go to J.L. Mann High School, where at that point in time, I was a defense coordinator, assistant head coach. But we went through a time to where we went 0-10. Now, you're talking about somebody that kind of questioned their career a little bit. I questioned it entirely. Not just that, but I was also going an hour and 15 one way each day. So I was spending more or less close to 3 hours on the road, not near my family. We went 0-10, and it was just kind of testing me a little bit. And I really did some soul seeking, prayed about it. I was trying to get back to closer to home, and got a call from Jeff Tate, allowed me to come be the defense coordinator of Wren High School. And then that first year, I went 13-2, and we beat Myrtle Beach in the state championship. We led all classifications. In defense statistics. The only thing we didn't lead was sacks. We was 2 behind Wilson High School. They was a very good football team at that time. I think that was Coach Derrick. He was at Ridgeview, but that was a very good football team. But they had us beat by like 2 or 3 sacks. But we led the classifications and everything else, statistical margin. Was there for 3 years, had 3 good successful seasons. And then after that third year, I went to Crest High School to be their defense coordinator. That was almost a come home type deal, home away from home. People I went to school with, people I played with were still in the area. Was able to go back and be at Crest High School for that year. We went 9-4. Then the next year, I ended up being the assistant head coach and running back coach, special teams coordinator. That second year, went all the way to the game before the Western Conference Finals. We went 13-1, lost to Dudley. Very good Dudley football team. And then that's where we kind of got to where we are now. I had opportunities to learn from a lot of people. Went to a lot of clinics. Went to a lot of high school coaches. Even talked to a lot of offense coordinators, defense coordinators. And in my time, I was able to absorb a lot of the knowledge I gained to understand what offense, defense, special teams meant. And Coach Sosby, he taught me a lot as far as from an offensive standpoint. Great offensive mind. Was able to learn a lot from him when I was up there at Crest. Same thing in Greenville High. I learned the defensive part from Coach Mag and Coach Watson. That's at J.L. Mann. Very good defensive-minded coaches. Coach Wyndham taught me a lot from a defensive mind standpoint. And then Coach Cathcart and Coach Kevin Burnett at J.L. Mann, they taught me a lot from an offensive standpoint. And then Jeff Tate as well, as far as it kind of finishing up everything. So I kind of took all of what I knew and what I learned and kind of formed my own philosophies and standards from an offensive defensive perspective. And it taught me to be more diverse in what I do. I have been known to be out the box type. I've been called, various things. The biggest thing that I take pride in is being called unorthodox. And I am. I am very unorthodox. Offense, defense, and special teams. I am. I will do things knowing that you're going to do it, offensively, defense, special teams. I like to think that way because I know how it was when I played. I know how it was. We go against people and watch people make calls and they know what you're doing, but you're not adjusting, you're not doing anything about it. So I took very much pride in being very unorthodox in my approach. But that's what led me to this point. Happily married, got 6 kids, 2 dogs, devout Christian. And I wouldn't be here without the good Lord now. Because being in Union County, I'll be honest with you, this is a storied place. With them winning 5 state championships, going to 7, and going to the upper state 11 times, having the kind of kids they had coming out, it is a storied place. And it's been in the dumps for a while. But I want to thank Coach Thompson, who was here prior to me. The community loved him. It wasn't nothing he did opposite anything. They loved him. But I'm thankful for this opportunity to be where I am right now. But he laid the groundwork, and I'm going to finish it off while I'm here.
I love it. Coach, you said you picked up a lot of things from different guys, at all your previous stops, and you're kind of unorthodox, you'd say. But I guess what are maybe some of your base schemes you like to run on both sides of the ball? And then will you call plays for either side as well?
Yes. I like going from a multiple set, offense, defense. Special teams is going to be very similar to what I've done in the past in various groups. But offensively, be multiple. And attacking type defense. Attacking type offense. See, I've been a defensive person my whole life. But very attacking. One game we might throw for 400. Next game we might run for 400. One game we might be out there and spread 2x2. Some games we might be out there in the I formation, bone, near and far set. Anything that we can take advantage of the defense and what they're giving. Defensively, I'm a multiple set. I've been known as a stack guy. I like to stack to the point of I can utilize all the athletes I got, and if we're undersized up front, it gives me an advantage from that standpoint as well. And then special teams is another facet of the tool belt as well. We're going to be explosive. We're going to take advantages. We're going to take opportunities to use our skill sets to be successful, to take our opportunities, be unorthodox, and kind of fly around and get points in that margin as well. But offensively, I've been around some offenses to where they just stick to their one thing and that's it. Very good football teams I've been in contact with. If they spread, they're going to stay spread. They're not going to get out of it. I'm not even going to mention the team, but played against the team, had a chance to beat us. Instead of them staying in a little heavy set like they were in, they chose to go back out, go and spread. Heavy set, they averaged 13.2 yards a carry, and it really got up to about 24 yards. It got up about 24 because they were gaining yards. But, again, in coaching, we kind of let our ego get the best of us in this situation. So instead of what works, we're going to do what we know. We know what is in our tool belt instead of going outside that box. Wish I become more orthodox in that point. Now, with me being a stat guy, I run 6 different formations. It's 3-3-5, 3-5-3, 4-2-5, 4-3, 3-4, bear. It's a lot of odd fronts that we got. But it's going to be utilized. And the 2 coordinators we got for that, Joshua Abrams, he's going to be doing the offense, and Carlos Ray from North Carolina, he's going to be coming and he's going to do the defense. And then Trey Harbison is going to do our special teams as well. And all those young men had played on, I call them young. I got one older than me, but all of them had played some kind of ball, whether it's pro, college. They've all played on that next levels that I couldn't even dream of reaching. But with their knowledge and their input, we're going to have a successful season in and out from that point.
Coach, you said you want to run a bunch of different, sets, a bunch of different schemes, be multiple. It takes some special players to achieve those goals and what you want to get done. Who are some guys that we should be on the lookout for next season, and maybe some sleepers that maybe people haven't heard of so far?
Yes. Now you caught me off guard with that because I'm still learning everybody's names,
and that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah. But we have one young man, Quan Jeter. He's number one. He's gonna be all over the place. More like I can call him a Swiss Army knife. He's played running back. He's played corner. He played slot. Played outside receiver. He's gonna do a lot for us in that aspect. You got another named Cade Coker. Cade Coker. He played slot receiver for them last year and some backup quarterback. Really tough young man, tough kid. Hadn't had the pleasure to meet him yet. Hopefully I get a chance to meet him here soon. Another player that we have is Josh. They call him JB. And I want to say he's one of the best 50-50 balls I've seen. He's number 6. So you got Cade Coker's number 4, Quan Jeter's number 1, JB. He's one of the best 50-50 balls I've seen in a long time. He had good games versus Gaffney, Clinton last year. Had some good games versus I want to say it was Emerald. Very explosive young man. And then on the next spot, kind of all over the place. We got a couple of them. It's a few of them, and I got nicknames for all of them. I hate to be like that, but we call young. I call one young man Bubba Jacket, but it's not Bubba Jacket. It's just the first time I see him in the weight room, and it stuck out like a sore thumb to me. But he had a Bubba Jacket on in the weight room, and I'm kind of getting used to the kids, kind of looking around. I'm like, so why you got your jacket on in the weight room? And he's a good man. His name Mozzie. He played baseball, but he's a good man. He is, and he's explosive. But the thing is, Union has a lot of young men who have not been put out there. Now we got another kid that's out there too. His name is T.O. T.O.'s been doing good. We got another one named Ashton Stewart. He's gonna be good. We have another one, running back, Jakevius Jennings. He's number 21. He's gonna be very explosive for us this year. And then everybody wanted another trigger man. And the trigger man for us is Quay. And Quay, he's a young man, cool, calm, and collected. And I told him early on, in my experience of being a defensive coordinator, the best ones, the best quarterbacks I went against, I couldn't rattle. Like to this day, the quarterback from Daniel, and I forgot his name, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year.
Trent Pierman.
Trent Pierman. Could not rattle him. There was nothing you can do to rattle that young man. Any check I did, he checked too. Any adjustment he had, he adjusted. It was amazing to me. I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them surreal type moments. You're like, yeah, this young man legit. He is. Plus, the receiving core he had was legit too. Got a couple young men up front. I hate to go off numbers, but we got Jalen, number 68. Good gracious. 77, 54. And I'm still getting used to the names, but it's to the point to where the talent on offense is there. And I've been to a place, and I still say this too. In my 14 years in doing this, we've had a couple of days where we did a little bit of 7-on-7 there. Kind of doing some passing league stuff at our place, kind of just going through stuff with each other. Not nothing with no other teams going with each other. And there was no kind of negative talk with one another. It wasn't nobody bashing each other. Somebody get a jump ball on them. They don't sit there and go over there and brutalize the kid. They're like, hey, man, go back. You better get it next time. And, the other kid that jump ball him, he just to get the laugh. Like, hey, man, you get me next time. We'll see. It's just good competition. And, that speaks to the character of those young men, the character of the community from that point. And then defensively, they got people all over the place. You got EJ Jeter. He's a big 6'3", 185-pound safety. He'll get moved in from the box at the nickel position. You have Nathan. I get his name messed up right now. I'm still learning everybody, but he's number 18. Very smart young man. He played safety last year. We're gonna try to move him around a lot too. You got Dre, number 56. They call him J-Man. J-Man's about 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds, 230 pounds. Man got a lot of tools in his belt. He's a born leader. Looking forward to see what he's going to do for us here moving forward. And then we have Joe Knox. I hadn't had the pleasure of meeting him, but he's a workhorse. He's played backer. He's played some tight ends, some H-back. He's a utility type guy. Another young man that caught my eye too is Cam Rencher. I hadn't had a chance to meet him yet, but on film he looked electric. Then we have a couple kids coming out from basketball. One that kind of stood out the most that's been coming is Eric. I can't think of his last name, but the young man is a hidden talent. One of the best is in the school, kind of moving around, using them, being as explosive as he is. But I will say there's a lot of talent in school. I know I'm forgetting a couple names. That's why I'm blessed to have the coaches that I got, because I put them in responsibility of all them kids, because I know what it was like to watch my position, know all that. So with me taking care of everything on the outskirts of it, I've been kind of doing the behind-the-scenes stuff I didn't think that head coaches would be doing. So I'm blessed to have the staff I got. They own me all the time, whether it's responsibilities, philosophies, standards, personnel. They always own me. It's always something. It's good. Because that's what's going to help us build up to get to the state championship game.
Coach, talking about that staff, have you been able to kind of fill it all the way out now? Or a couple spots you're still looking for, or how's that shaping up for you?
Still kind of a couple spots looking, and I'm kind of keeping it to my chest a little bit. Want to see what kind of shake up in-house. the main focus I wanted to do was bring back guys that were from Union County. Because I'll be honest with you, I've been with places where they use it as a springboard, and Union County is not a springboard. It's not. I need people here who want to be here, who want to be involved, who's not going to question adjustment, who's not going to question the philosophy or skill set or whatever else that they're going to be for these young men, for these kids. So I mean, we're almost full. We did interview some guys early on in the year before spring break, about a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. And so we'll see how everything shake out before we get to the end of this month.
So, Coach, you mentioned that Coach Thompson before you had laid the foundation down, but when you came in, coming from Crest and, being on championship winning programs and working across the state of South Carolina as well, what was something that you identified that you said, hey, I want to change and implement this to fit my culture and kind of expand upon that foundation that's already been laid?
And so the foundation I wanted to lay was just this championship mindset, putting love back into the kids. I'm not going to say that's been lost, but telling a young man that they have a chance to go be successful is kind of unknown to some of these young men. Putting love back into them. And so my foundation principle was very simple. This train, and I told our coaches this, I told our players this. This train that we're on is going to the state championship. Whether you're on the boat, whether you're on the train or not, you have to get on it, you get off. And I say that with every kind of confidence in my heart and in my mind because I know what's here. I know what's there, from all the way up to the 12th grade that's coming up, all the way down to the incoming 9th graders. They always have young men here at Sims Middle School, at Jonesville. There are kids here that has to be planted. A lot of them have been planted. There's you always go to a market and you'll see fruit already laid out. Well, they had to start and got planted from somewhere. They're not just seeds. And a lot of these young men are seeds that need to be planted. And so my job as the head football coach is to make sure I plant these young men in the right position. Now, would they like them? No. I had to talk with EJ today, explain to him the parameters of this recruitment process. With him being as big as he is, it's a certain 40 time you got to run, certain GPA you got to run for you to be at this position. Now, if you allow me to move you, then that moves your market up because now you are a more recruitable kid in this position. And that's what it comes down to as far as that. But learning from what I learned from everybody else, be bold. That's really it. Be bold and stand on what you're going to stand on. Keep the main thing the main thing. Main thing is we're going to state. And I told them when I got in there, the first meeting I had with everybody, if you do not believe this team can go to state this year, there's the door. You don't have to stay. I said, and I've always been like that. My wife tells me sometimes I'm kind of too brass, even though I am a full-fledged Christian. But I do cut deep because I don't believe in wasting time. I will trim that fat. I will. Because it's not about me. It's not. It's about these kids. And if you don't have the right mindset for these young men, then this is not the place for you. Not in Union County. I don't care where else you go. And these young men know too. I told them, I said, now, if you don't want to be a part of the program, that's cool. I see you in the hallway. I'll dap you up. Ask you how your day going. Ask you how school going. What you had for lunch. What you did this weekend. But even then, if you're not going to be a part of the program, you're going to wish you was a part of the program. And that's how I've been reaching a lot of these young men that's at the school. And I've had some girls ask, and listen, I tell them, I'll take anybody. If you can run, you can catch, you can hit, come on out there. You can block. Hey, I'll take any and every athlete at this point. And I believe in that because it's always good to have a lot of athletes. It builds competition. It builds a great atmosphere for the program. It builds a great atmosphere for the community, especially when they know that their part means something. And that was something else I put in there, that it has to mean something to you. You got the whole traditional faith, family football. That means everything to me. It do. And I know a lot of people say that. Some of them don't walk in it. Some of them do. I do. Faith is my number one deal. That's not any cussing allowed. Kids know if they cuss, they see me around that corner, and they're like, all right, chill out. Coaches know that too. And family, family comes first. We're not going, and this is just me. I've heard it from one person. Heard it from one. And I've been taking it ever since. Gene Cathcart made a comment one day, and I'm learning just, breaking down film, everything else. I've been in places where we was hours on end. He said he would tell us, if you're here more than 3 hours, you need to find something else to do. And I've taken that with me ever since everywhere I've been. Now I tried it one time as a coordinator, and I ain't gonna say where. We was up to about 1-2 o'clock in the morning breaking down film. Went out there and played another team. We still got beat like 28-13. And that kind of just resonated with me. Like, I knew every play these jokers was gonna make. I did. And I still know what they're gonna make now. But at the same time, if your Jimmy and Joe's don't mess with that Jimmy and Joe's, it's not gonna pan out. But the biggest foundation is letting them young men know that I'm not scared to mention a state championship. I'm not scared to mention upper state championship. I'm not scared to mention that there's championship pedigree here and that we're going to reach it. We're going to attain it. But there's standards here that we have to meet.
Coach, as I grew up, in the state here, Union County was one of the premier programs. I mean, it really was. You got guys like Roscoe Crosby, Kyle Browning, Xavier Burr, Cedric Jeter. I mean, multiple state titles there out of that group. But the program has had a few down years. I mean, I think we all know that. But could you tell when you took this job that the community really was just, begging for a winner? They want to get back to that place. Could you kind of feel that, maybe in the atmosphere and kind of the hunger from the people when you took that job?
It was. And the funny thing is, when I came into the interview and I was kind of asking, seeing we're trying to read the room and everything else, see what the issue was. And it was kind of came up, as far as what was looking for. And it basically just came out just say, we're looking to win. Yeah, we want what's best for everything else, but we want to get back to those days where we're excited to come to the game, where there was always a buzz in the community, a buzz at Walmart, buzz at the grocery store, buzz at Midway Barbecue. It was a buzz in every possible way. And yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it from the time I put in for it. I could feel it from the time I interviewed. I could feel it from when I was going around, kind of seeing the area. Everybody has a hunger for it. Now, and I'll be honest with you. For some people now, it can weigh on you. It can weigh on you if you don't, look at it in the right light. And for us, for me, I always keep getting asked, "Hey, do you feel the pressure, Union County?" No, I don't. I said, "Why don't you feel the pressure?" I said, "It's not pressure." I said, "One, I know one good fact. I had nothing to do with this. Good Lord did. I had nothing to do with it." I said, "So it's out of my hands." I said, "So obviously God put me here for a purpose. He put me here for a purpose. He know I understand the task." And like my wife said beforehand, she knew my character was built for this moment. Because I put in for jobs beforehand. This was my 10th interview. And God said this was my time to do so. And so, yeah, it's a legit hunger. There's an excitement booming. And I always tell people, I'm like, "Yo, I appreciate the support, but we ain't even taking a snap yet." Now, snap, we ain't even put a pass on yet. We didn't throw the football a couple times. And I've been known to be very optimistic, but I've always been honest. But I also believe in being positive too. Now I ain't gonna be positive like I was at J.O. Mag, and that was different. I'll acknowledge that we just terrible. I would say, but at the same time, I do speak truth. If these young men buy in, we're gonna be a force to reckon with. And you see the boards out there where people get to talking and other stuff, and Union is nowhere mentioned. I love it. I do. I get calls all the time from other people say, "Hey, we need to put y'all on the schedule for a game." Well, it is what it is. One team called 3 times try to get us on the schedule. They look at us like a homecoming game or a senior night game or one on time game. I said, "That's fine. It is." But these young men are tired of losing, and the biggest thing I saw from them is that they want their face back. And I said, "I'm gonna make sure you get your face back." And I told them in the interview, and I tell everybody else too, if you want that back, you make me your head football coach, and we'll get that back. I take a lot of pride. I take a lot of self-determination for that because it's not for me. It's for them kids. Them kids get blessed. I'm blessed. I can have $1 million, and them kids don't have nothing, and I don't have anything. I have rags. I have my riches when they get their profit.
That's awesome, Coach. Well, we are getting to that time. We just flipped the calendar over to April, and it's time to start strapping those pads on. Do you have a spring, practice schedule already done? And what are you looking forward to as far as the summer? Are you going to be doing any 7-on-7 stuff, the new 11-on-11 stuff? And, what do you guys have planned for the upcoming months?
Yes, we have our schedule set for spring. It'll be the 2nd and 3rd week of May. And I'm trying to do some more digging. I seen some of them was going like 13 days worth, so I got to do some more digging on that one. But we have 2 weeks straight. The second week of May, third week of May, and then that Friday we're going to do a big gold versus black game, or whichever one you want to go with for a spring game. And then the plans for the summer, we're going to get after it hard as far as the weight room and 7-on-7s. We're going to do a lot of self-work on us a little bit. Now we have certain teams we're going to go see. We're going to try to go to Clinton. We're going to try to go to Ridgeview. Ridgeview have a lot of 11-on-11 type stuff. We're going to try to get linked up with East Side for 7-on-7. I don't want to say we're going to the Burn 7-on-7 for that showdown. So that's really I'm kind of geeked up for that one. But it's a lot of other ones I'm kind of waiting to see, because I told them the biggest thing I wanted to do this year, want to bring teams to Union County, because in the past they hadn't had it before. And eventually we want to have a lot of showdowns. We want to have a lot of 7-on-7 work here, a lot of big man competitions. And it's a lot of work that we can do here at home. We have 3 fields. We have a lot of resources to our discretion that we can use, and just anything and everything to kind of get the coaches going as well. Because a lot of these deals, I won't be calling nothing, because I want to kind of build my coaches up as well. They're going to have the opportunity to kind of call during this time, even though it's not a full game. Any kind of experience you can get during this measure is warranted. Now it's also earned too. So, I'm as raw as I am. So y'all getting full discretion here. If you're a coach, you ain't been here, and it's your time to go call a play, you're not going to call it that day. Because them kids know you ain't been there. That's dedication. Now, if I gave you that time off, that's different. But again, we hold each other to a standard. And that standard is whatever I'm doing, you're doing. I'm not going to ask nobody to do anything apart from what I did. There have been times I had roles that I did not fulfill, but they gave me the role to get me on staff. There was times that I did work for somebody, never got credit for it, but I did my time. There was times I never coached a position, but I did what the head coach asked me to do at that time. But again, being in my older age, kind of knowing what's going on, that set me up for the years to come. Now, going into the fall, we'll be having 3 scrimmages. So the first one is going to be in August. I think it's August the 8th. It's either August the 8th or the 9th. We're doing the McDonald's Classic. We'll be going against Lawrence with Greg Porter. That's an amazing treat for me. I've known Greg Porter for a long time, Coach Porter. That right there is going to be awesome in a sense for us kind of getting together and coaching against them and all that good stuff. Then we have a 3-race scrimmage. After that, I think it'll be there on the 12th or the 13th. I think it's 12th. That'll be against Mid Carolina and Saluda. And then that Friday, we'll be going against Dorman High School in the Bowling Springs Jamboree that they're having up there. But like I said, we're still in the mix and talking, because I came on late. So a lot of people had their 7-on-7 schedules in order. So I'm still waiting to hear on a couple schools. Some from North Carolina coming down, there's a chance, and some from Greenville County, even some from Spartanburg, thinking about coming this way. So it's even, and some from the lower state too. But that's kind of the schedule moving forward. And then my premise for that is I want to set these kids up for success. Because I told them too, we don't have Gaffney on the schedule. And I told them in the interview, and I said, I understand we don't, but I hope in 2 years we get them back on. That's a big rivalry for them. And that's all I've known Union used to play was Gaffney. That was always a big game. So in 2 years, we hope that's the plan, kind of get them back on and kind of build that rivalry back up. Because they help both parties, Gates, fans, those who play with people there. There's been mixed families as far as some from Gaffney coming down here, some from Union going to Gaffney. So that's kind of one of the deals I'm building on that one, and just a no fear type deal. So all these schedules, all the things that we're doing, we're not gonna have no fear of nobody. It don't matter who we're playing. They're gonna be physically equipped from the strain they're gonna get put on them in the summer. There'll be nutritional field. They're gonna have the nutrition needed, both food and water and whatever electrolytes they'll need. And then we'll be in the film room. We'll be in the film room on the field working. Learn our plays, learn our system, both defensive, offensive, and special teams. But that's kind of the plan moving forward.
Take your financial game to the next level with Founders Federal Credit Union. Reach your full potential. Relax. Join Founders today. Visit an office near you or relaxjoinfounders.com to apply. Federally insured by NCUA, member qualification required.
Coach, got a couple easier ones here for you before we let you go for the night. Got one from a viewer of ours, a friend of the program who's a Union County grad, said to make sure to ask you this. What will Cornbread's role be with the program this year now that you're taking over as the head coach?
Cornbread. Yo, I love Cornbread. My family love him. My kids love him. He check him every day. His role is director of football operations.
Love it.
And he is the CEO. I answer to Cornbread. That's what I do. I answer the call, and I love it too. He was with me today. We kind of moved the coach's office around. Originally, the head coach was in the big room, and they used a small room like a utility room or anything like that. So me and him kind of put about 3 hours to the side and did that. But Cornbread is the man. But he's going to be the CEO and director of football operations. You know, he makes sure I got my keys. He makes sure I got my cloth. He makes sure my kids are straight. You know, he's amazing. So he called me 6 times yesterday on Easter, and I wasn't able to answer the phone. I was in church. I'm like, man, I said, yeah, I'm in church. I said, I hope ain't nothing wrong with Bread. So I called him back. I said, Bread, what's going on? He said, what's up, coach? I was just checking on you. I said, yeah. I said, we love each other on the phone. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Love that. Love that. Coach, part of our program, we ask everybody that joins us. Me and Kevin love to get some great food, and we love traveling around the state to get it. We've already got a trip planned to go to Midway Barbecue, but have you found some good places to eat in that Union area since you've been down there so far?
You know what? Me and my wife been looking. We were going to look tonight before I got on the call. We're going to plan to look on this spring break and find out. But I've seen a couple. We liked a couple of them on Facebook. So we're going to kind of go around and see. But I'm going to make sure once I do, I'm going to make sure I get back in touch with y'all. But I have not found that one yet. But we're going to go around and look this week. I promise that one. But, yeah, like Midway was the first one I heard about. Came to Midway. I was kind of blown away with that one. But yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, I haven't found one yet.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely hold you to that. I do want to ask you. I tell you what, that Wren team that won the state title was probably one of the most fun teams I've had the pleasure of following the last couple of years. I mean, when did you know that you guys had a special team that year, and what will you remember most about that season?
What I remember about that season, and it was like early on. From the scrimmages and the 7-on-7s, even the practice, they had a bond with one another. We didn't have the best athletes. We had some slow kids, we had some fast kids, we had some big ones, had some small ones. But those young men held each other accountable and kept each other to the foot of everything that was going on. And if you were supposed to run your route between 7 to 10 yards and you broke it off between 6 to 5, then they got on to you. If your read was supposed to read the guards at the back of level and you chose to do your own thing, they got on to you. If you supposed to hit the A gap, you hit the A gap, they got on to you. If you supposed to double team climb to that backer, if you didn't do it, they got on to you. And I remember Joe Owens, and I felt bad for him because he came from Malden, and Malden didn't run the same system Wren did, and he went through a time that summer. And it wasn't from the head coach, it was from the kids. The kids would run the right routes. He wouldn't get the ball there. And he never let it get to him. And so he would stay out there and watch. He would, watch film and get to practice. He would dial in as much as possible. And it finally came to we went and played Camden County. And that's when I kind of figured out we was down maybe 35-7, I believe. And Coach Tate made a comment, said we was good and ready to get back in the ball game. And I kind of looked. Man, this feel like jail, man. I love again, man. I don't know, coach. You feel good. I said, all right, hey, I'm rocking with you. But he taught me something then. You're never out of the fight to that last tick off. And from that point, that's what kind of developed my mantra from that. And we ended up losing just by, I think, about a touchdown or two. I want to say it was 49-35, maybe somewhere in there. But from that, those kids kind of held each other to the bit, and I use that. And it's almost like a broken record down in Union County, but I use it. I use it everywhere I go because we were never the best athletes. We were never the best. We were never the most talented kid. When we went and played Myrtle Beach, we were nowhere near foot for foot with them. For everyone they had, for everyone we had, they had too. I think Greenville High School kind of turned the tide for us as a team. We had a couple people who's hurt. We had a couple of things that was going on that week, and it was really just on the defense. Now, have they ever stepped to the foot of that one? No, they ain't never done that. So the fact they was able to kind of stand up to that tough team, and that was one of the better teams I've ever seen Greenville had under Greg Porter. That was a huge success for that team. And, we had I want to say about 3 interceptions. We took one to the house, kind of turned the tide for the game. And I think the other mark of that, too, of that season, we played BHP. Wren never beat PHP. And we was able to beat them at home, kind of stop them from doing what they was normally doing. And I use the article. I'm a football junkie. I am. So I'll spend hours on end. I'll read feeds, and it won't bother me. Somebody can say something crazy, and it won't bother me, but I'll use it. And so they said, they had the statistics up before that game of the yardage they had against Wren prior, and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. And I kind of tell them they were soft, and I used it. They're saying y'all are soft. That's what they're saying. They're saying y'all can't stop a nosebleed. I say, you can't stop a wet newspaper. I said, that just is what it is. And they took that to heart, and it was good. But that group, man, that was a special group. They listened. They did what they're supposed to do. They did what was called on them to do. And then from that point, they just took it and did what they were supposed to do. It was very special because they never left nothing up to chance. They never did anything that would cause any kind of grip or nothing to them. So, that was a good group. It was a good group.
Well, Coach, let me give you one more before we get out of here tonight. You kind of said it explicitly when you were talking to your team, said that you guys want to go to state. But what are some other goals that you have for this 2024 version of your squad?
The goal of this year is kind of get the highest GPA possible. That's always the biggest thing for me. Apart from going to state, I want us to have the highest GPA. Now, whether it's attainable or not this year, that's kind of left up debate. That's going to take a lot of work on them. Not to say it's not, but it's going to take a lot of work. I want to have our average GPA to be a 3.5 or above, preferably the core. If I can get the core above a 3.3, our kids will be fine. I've talked to multiple schools. Some of our kids on the borderline. Some of them good athletes, great kids, just don't have the grades yet. But they can get to that point. But that's kind of one of the goals from that one as far as having the highest GPA possible. If we can average out core-wise 3.5 GPA, that's going to help me as far as getting them into school from that point. And then I want everybody to graduate. I want everybody to graduate close to the top of their class. And then the final thing is I want to send all my seniors off on a scholarship in football. I want them to be able to have a chance to go make a better name for themselves and not just be a tremendous athlete for that college wherever they go, but to be tremendous young men for their families and to be fathers and to be husbands to their wives, to kind of help them have a path to get to where they're supposed to. Because if it weren't for Garden Web taking a chance on me, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Garden Web has given me a lot of opportunities. I met my wife there, got my degree there. I met a lot of longtime friends, played against longtime friends. And it's just one of those deals to where I'm fortunate enough to be there. Like the Coach Abrams, I played against him when he was at Ohio University. Coach Carlos Ray, the defense coordinator. I watched him play high school football down the street at Shelby High School. Coach Trey Harrison, I watched him play down the street at Crest High School. It's just the path I've been on. Coach Davis, Coach J.D. Davis, he's doing our secondary. He's going to be the pass game coordinator for that. But the first time I seen him, he was the defense coordinator of the JV team for Burns. And I've been around a bunch of JV teams, been around a lot of coaches who put energy, who don't put energy. He put every bit of fiber in those kids on JV, and that kind of stuck out to me for a while. And that was in 2019. And God kind of lined us back up to get where we are today. The wide receiver coach, Coach Feaster, Montre Feaster, I watched him and Shamar Glenn when I was at Eastland High School and they came to Wren under Coach Tannehill. They was out there in that set, and I watched them play. Them and Roscoe, and even Shy Smith. I watched all of them play. So having those kind of people around, it's going to build success on these people, on these kids here at Union County. But that's from what I take on my experiences.
Well, this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Isom and the Yellow Jackets on Twitter and Facebook. They do a great job posting information for their kids and getting them recruited and whatnot. So definitely go check them out on social media. Like I mentioned, follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, etc. at Movin Chains. Website, movingchains.com. Our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Movin The Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go tonight.
Coach, we want to wish you a sincere congratulations to you and your family. I know this is a great opportunity for you, and it didn't come without hard work. So definitely congratulations to you. I'm one of those guys. I was a terrible high school football player. I went to a bad high school in Greenville County. We were the homecoming game a lot of the times, so I know how that feels, and I know that Union County is not that type of program. We actually played you guys my junior year, first round of the playoffs, and got crushed. So it was weird when I started covering high school football again to see Union County not performing to the standard that we're all accustomed to. But we know that you're going to get them there. Wish you congratulations. Stay healthy and just have a great off season.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We appreciate it, Coach. Look forward to getting down to a practice or a game and getting to meet you in person and catch up sometime soon. All right.
Yes, sir. Y'all come down anytime. Let me know.